Hey everybody, and welcome back to Immortal Creed Academy. I'm Chris, one of the founders and developers of Immortal Creed. Today on this episode, I'd really like to talk something about Immortals. Um, Key cards in the game, you have to have Immortals in order to play battles, so they're pretty important. Um, I'd like to take a minute. I'm going to go to the library here so that we can look at all the different Immortals we have in the game. And I want to talk a little bit about each one. Let's go ahead and let's start with some of our rares here. We got Asazi, you got Shrapnel, and then you got Junius, Takusetu, Bachner, Warcaller. These are rare cards. You can tell by the color. They're green. The epics here in red. You've got Grot, Rotheart, Sigrod, and then you've got Silas. Let's start with Asazi down here. I'm going to speak a little bit about each one and about what their abilities are and where you might want to play them and what you can use them for. So Asazi, let's go ahead and take a look at level 1 here. As you can see, Asazi, all magic equipment cards deal 10% more damage. Let's look at the card itself. You see the name, you see the health here, 100 health. This is a level 1 card, by the way. And you see this plus 10% with this little lightning bolt. In the Immortal Creed game, this little lightning bolt is pretty much our translation or what it means magic. This is a magic type ability. And you see plus 10% to a lightning bolt, plus 10% to his damage. Now, if you look at level 1, let's go back and let's look at him as he gets all the way up to level 10. You can see at level 10, he's up to 25% magic damage. He's also up to 2,500 health, so a significant increase in health and a pretty good increase in magic damage. So that's Asazi. Let's go and take a look here at Shrapnel. Level 1. All ranged equipment cards deal 10% more damage. As you can see here, name, health 100, and then 10%, you got like a little target with some arrows in it. That's just symbolize and kind of, say ranged equipment cards, and then it does more damage. Let's take a look at him at a level 10 and see what the difference is. You can see here, he's up to 2,500 health, and he's up to 25% more range damage. Pretty big increase, just like Asazi. Let's take a minute. Let's go look at Junius here. So, Junius, all equipment cards trigger 1 second faster. Now, if you look down here on the card, you'll see that he has a -1 plus the little stopwatch we talked about in another episode, how speed is a factor in the game and every card has a speed. His bonus, his ability, why would you want to use him, is because you want to get your cards to trigger faster than your opponents. So you see that right there. He also does have a little bit extra added benefit of having just a slight bit more health. Where we saw with Asazi and Shrapnel, they had 100 health starting off at a level 1 card. He has 105. Let's go take a look at him at a level 10. So here we are at level 10, and you can see that he is at a -5 on his speed and 2,625 health, which is a little bit more than what the Asazi and Shrapnel had at level 10. He also has something else going on here. And you'll read here in the description, cards trigger 5 seconds faster, and he gets a 25% defense amount to all shields that are played. That's what this is right here. You see that plus 25% with the shield. He actually gains a second ability right here starting at level 2. You see he's got that still that -1 to speed, and then he gets a 10% shield bonus. So every time you play a shield with him, you're actually going to be increasing the amount of damage that can be blocked by 10% more. And at the highest level, you'll be increasing it by 25% more. Next, let's go take a look at Takusetu. At level 1, you have him here. Now, he's basically a poison resistance immortal. he takes 50% less damage from poison. So any attack, any equipment card that has the poison ability or inflicts poison on your opponent, he's going to take 50% less at level 1. At higher levels, he'll get a much significant more higher bonus, and we'll look at that in a second. This also applies to the location, the swamp, where every card, every immortal in the swamp constantly takes poison damage every single round. So, good place to think about playing this card. Let's go take a look at him at level 10. You'll also see that he does get a little bit of a health bonus, 105 instead of 100 like some of the other rares. Now let's look at him at level 10. Here we are at level 10, and you can see 95% poison. Takes 95% less damage from poison at level 10. And of course, he has an added health bonus here, 2625 compared to the 2500 that some of the other rare cards had. Let's go look at Bachner here. Bachner is actually probably, I do like this Immortal. I do like playing him. What he has is all ranged equipment cards have 8% greater chance to hit. In Immortal Creed, you have the ability to miss. If you're playing melee or ranged, you can miss. The higher you get your hit rate up to, your hit chance up to, the less you have chances you have of missing, and if you miss, you don't get an attack. So to hit chance is actually really important in Immortal Creed, and it's something that any melee or ranged attack you have a chance to miss, whereas in magic always hits. So I do like this Immortal right here. You can see 8%. He's got the little range target with the arrows in it, but he's also got this little crosshair on top of it. That designates that this is a modifier to hit. So let's take a look at him at level 10. You can see here at level 10, all ranged equipment cards have a 20% greater chance to hit. Now, what that really equates to in the game of Immortal Creed is that every Immortal, or like melee and range, start off with the 80% chance to hit. So at level 10, if you add 20%, that automatically gives him a 100% hit chance with every ranged card that he uses. Also, he does have the 2500 health like some of the other rare cards. Like I said, I do like this card. I really like this Immortal. At the lower levels, I use him a good bit when it comes to ranged. Shrapnel is a great card to use also because of the damage increase. Bachner does not get a damage increase. He gets a greater chance to hit. Now, once you've reached 100% hit chance, anything that adds to your chance to hit will actually be applied to your range damage. So if you were to play a supporting card that gives even a greater chance to hit and he's already at 100, then all that extra, say a supporting card that would give you, say, 5% more ranged to hit chance, then that would make your hit chance 105. So you can't hit more than 100%, so that extra 5% actually transfers over to your damage on range damage and gives you an actual bonus to your damage. That's one of the reasons I like this card. Let's look at Warcaller. Warcaller at level 1. All melee equipment cards deal 10% more damage. You can see here, you got the 10%, then you've got the glove, the fist. That basically signifies in the game that you're talking about melee damage. And so at level 1, Warcaller has 100 health. Let's look at him at level 10. Now at level 10, all melee equipment cards are 25% more damage. You can see here 25%. You got that glove right there. So 25% increased damage on all melee equipment. Plus he already gets bumped up to the 2500 health at level 10. Alright, so there's our rares. Let's go and take a look at some of our epics. Let's go ahead and start with Grot. So Grot, level 1, takes 11% less damage from magic attacks. So keep in mind, remember, magic attacks always hit. Grot will always subtract 11% from any magic damage that she takes. And you'll see the symbol here. You have the lightning bolt again that symbolizes magic in the game. And you got that little circle with it crossed out. So that just lets you know that he's going to take less damage from magic attacks. At level 1, he starts off with 100 health. Let's look at him at level 10. Here we are. Level 10 takes 28% less damage from magic attacks. You can see right here 28%. The little, less damage from magic symbol right there. And he has 2,500 health. So that's Grot at level 10. Let's move on here to Rothart. Level 1 Rothart. Now Rothart takes 11% less damage from melee and ranged attacks. These are basically physical attacks, not magical attacks, but physical. And you can see here, he's got the 11%, and he's got this little suit of armor right here. That's basically signifying that he's kind of buffed up his armor a little bit. He's going to take less damage from those physical type attacks. And at level 1, he gets 100 health. Let's look at him at a level 10. And at level 10, he takes 28% less damage from melee and ranged attacks. Really good card. If you know your opponent's coming at you with melee or ranged attacks, you're automatically going to be cutting that damage down by 28%. He also has 2,500 health. Next up is Sigurd. Alright, now Sigurd is the only immortal in the game that actually heals. So, level 1, Sigurd heals for 4 points of damage at the end of every round. So that means in the game, after all the equipment cards have been played for that round, he's going to heal himself for 4 points of damage. He starts off with 100 health. Let's look at him at level 10. At level 10, he heals for 132 damage at the end of every round, which is a lot of damage. That basically is almost negating one of your attacks. So you can see right here the 132, and then you see this little potion bottle here in red. That's pretty much it, like a healing potion is common to most RPGs and type games like that. So he's healing for 132 every round. He also starts off with 2,500 health at level 10. Lastly, the last thing to note here, we got Silas, another one of my favorite cards. You see here, all melee equipment cards have an 8% greater chance to hit. I love getting my hit chance up in the game because it means I'm hitting with every attack or more attacks than my opponent. So you'll see the 8% here, and then you'll see that glove that signifies melee, and then you have that little target that, right there. That basically is saying this is a to hit chance. So 8% increase to hit. At level 1, he gets 100 health. Now let's look at him at level 10. This is where he really shines. At level 10, melee equipment cards a 20% greater chance to hit. Now, I said earlier that almost everything in the game starts off with the 80% chance to hit when it comes to melee or ranged. So, just like Bachner, you add that 20% to hit chance, and now suddenly you have a 100% chance to hit with all melee cards. And just like Bachner with the range to hit, once you get that to hit chance up to 100, anything that you add over that 100%, to hit chance goes to damage. It starts increasing your damage. So you can really pump up some numbers with Silas, especially, at level 10. It's possible to get him to that 100% prior to level 10. There's some other cards in the game that actually add to hit on there. But it's a great card. I love playing Silas, especially in Infinity ranks. Love playing Silas. So that's pretty much all of our mortals in the game. One thing I'd like to point out that I didn't cover while we were going through all the different Immortals is this right here. If you'll go ahead and look at Grot. When you look at one of these cards, you'll also see, let me go back and get level 2. You'll also see how many cards it takes to create this card at level 2. Your level 2 CCC, which is combined card count. In order to get Grot from level 1 to level 2, you will need 2 cards. And let's go back again and let's look at them. Let's pick level 7. If you want to get Grot up to level 7, you're going to need 28 individual cards of Grot and combine those to get to level 7. Now the numbers are a little bit different here for a rare card. As you can see, starting off here, a rare at level 2. You still need only 2 to get to level 2, but let's go look at the same level 7. And you'll see at level 7, you now need 35 of the rare cards. Since it's a little bit easier to get these cards, you need just a little bit more to combine them. All right, and that's all I have today for Immortal Creed Academy. I wanted to cover the Immortals, what their basic abilities are. As you play the game, you will find that there are some locations and situations where each one of these cards, their ability and their bonuses really may come into play. Like I said, Takusetu, you really want to play him. He's a great card for locations like the swamp where you're taking poison damage. Sazi's a great card in the void where there's no RNG allowed or only magic attacks. If you know your opponent's going to be playing magic against you or you suspect it, Grot's a good card to use because he has that magic damage reduction. Play the game a little bit. You'll find a place where each one of these cards kind of shines for you, especially as you move throughout the ranks. All right, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Immortal Creed Academy.